Welcome to the board of the Bantu. I know I've been missing for a couple of weeks, but that is because I was taking a break. I was literally taking a health break. I was using too much energy doing all these readings and so on, and so my body wasn't healing. And my ancestors said, okay, you got to shut down your readings for 2 weeks and you got to shut down doing readings altogether. And you've got to let the energy that you're putting out come inside you and heal you. A lot of damage was done. A lot of physical damage. Agnes ruined my skin, all my skin. I have spots all over my skin that I never used to have before. She ruined my arms. She ruined my general health. She was going for my death. She was trying to kill me. And she's been trying to kill me all these years when I thought she was my best friend and she had me glamored. Anyway, she destroyed my future. She stole from my future. She stole from my present. She snatched from my past. She woke up dead people I knew, dead people I barely knew. She woke them all up to come and attack me and use against her. She amassed an army of 168 people to fight me. Yes, a lot of damage was done. And my ancestors had to sit back and concentrate on their baby. And Agnes took out love from my life. She took out opportunities. She took out everything and left me with an empty life. And then she damaged my child and she took out everything. And when I asked her, why would you do this? She said, you have your ancestors. They love you enough. You don't need anything else in life. I need a lot. Anyway. Anyway, my ancestors decided on a 2-week break to heal their baby. The healing continues and it's going to continue for a very, very long time. But now they are sure that I can continue my work and give the best I can be. It is the season of rebirth, the season of renewal. It is the season when all Bantus and everybody who has Bantu DNA and everybody who isn't Bantu should be rejoicing because this is the season of rebirth. This is the season of regeneration. This is the season of new things. This is the season of new growth. This is the season, spring. And there is no better time for my ancestors to want their baby girl to regenerate, to grow. Okay. No better time. And so I am working on regeneration and regrowth as it goes with the season. And I might unveil a whole new different Witchdoctor in a few weeks, a few months. The regeneration of Isobel Mitton is in progress. And I'm enjoying it. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fascinating. And I am grateful to my ancestors for walking this journey with me. But most of all, I'm thankful to God. Because without him, I would not have survived this carnage, and neither would my son have survived. Because Agnes is gung-ho on killing me. Because she thinks she's me. So anyway, I'm not going to talk about bad things during regeneration. I refuse. I am going to look forward in the way that I hope that you all look forward, because this spring is the season for looking forward. It's the season for the future. It's the season for letting go of what was and embracing what will be. And I'm in the process of happily embracing what will be. This is Bantu territory. Make no mistake about that. More than 245 million and counting people with Bantu DNA in their veins. They have Bantu DNA that leads them straight to the God of the Bantu. And if it is their wish, they will go straight into his right fist when they transcend. Because he welcomes all his babies. Whether you're 0.05%, like most of our white citizens of Africa, they are 0.05, 1%, 2%. He welcomes everybody who has his DNA because he's indulgent. He's loving. He is a giver. We don't have to give him anything for him to continue to love us. The only thing he says is, don't kill. Don't kill. And it is the season of Mother Nature, for she is giving birth to everything bright, new, beautiful, including your souls. And so, we say to ourselves, who can we possibly read but Quavo? Quavo is always new to us, and I have to say, hands down, he's one of my favorite channels. I really love Quavo. So we channeled Quavo sometime last week. We were working on Agnes Lusok and her family. We were channeling her and talking, and they are the darkest people we've ever met. It's not a surprise to us that they are demon worshippers because they are Nilots. And they stand on being Nilots, even though they have lived in Southern Africa for quite a while. They are still Nilots. And it was so dark. Oh my God, working on her and her family, just channeling them and hearing them talk was so dark that my friend and I decided, okay, we're going to end this night with something lighthearted and fun. And we chose Quavo. And Quavo was fun as hell. But what and I have it all on Instagram. I wanted to share it with my followers, and I shared the whole thing. I said to my followers, quick, ask questions, and I will, ask questions, and I will ask Quavo, and we'll get answers. And it was a fun, pleasant night, and I intend to do it more than once as we go along. And after having done that, after having channeled Quavo and had so much fun and laughed so hard, I decided that I should do Quavo the season of regeneration, the season of new beginnings. I'm going to do Quavo because Quavo has an interesting metaphysical. Every time I call him, guess whom he comes with? Nicki Minaj, and they'll be holding hands. He said that he and Nicki are together. When I channeled him, he and Nicki are together. He claimed fatherhood of Nicki's son, but then it has been my experience sometimes that a man will disclaim or claim, a soul will disclaim or claim according to how much he loves the mother. And we have seen for years that Quavo really, really, really loves Nicki. And he talked about what he loves about her, and he gave her as the reason that Saweetie had to go. He also said Saweetie was business and nothing but business. So on this board right here, he talked about his relationship with what is her name? Oh my God, Cardi B. He talked about his relationship with Cardi B and how he truly feels about her. He also claimed ownership of Cardi B's daughter. Altogether, he claimed ownership of 4 children. Anyway, it was such fun having him that I thought that I would start this spring, this season of regeneration and regrowth with Quavo. I hope that there is a background of butterflies. I'm going to look for a background of butterflies because butterflies are the epitome of rebirth. They're the epitome of letting go of the old and the comfortable for the new and the brilliant and the beautiful. Okay, so we're going to do Quavo. And before I go into Quavo, I did start a Patreon channel, and the link is below. I am going to be doing the risky readings that I couldn't do and can't do on YouTube because, I get shut down and I get threatened and that sort of thing. But, yeah. So I am doing the the things I can't say, couldn't say in these readings, like things I won't be able to say between Quavo, Cardi B, and Nicki. If I see that I can't say them, I will go and I will do the reading on Patreon. I started a series because I like series, because I'm a writer. You all know I'm a writer, and we like series. So I've started a series. I'm doing Kobe Bryant for the next 3 weeks or so, and then after Kobe Bryant and Vanessa, I am going to go into Beyonce and those demons because she was born a legacy of demons. So I'm going to do Beyonce and demons and her non-existent marriage to Jay-Z, which, by the way, Quavo talked about as well. He said they're not even married anymore, but they pretend to be married for the money. So he said that, and I said, yeah, we know. So I'm going to do that, right? I'm going to do Beyonce and Jay-Z. I am going to do an update on Jay-Z and his relationship with the woman whom he now lives with. We saw in the video that I've already done for Patreon that she just had another baby. And so we're going to check that out. And we saw that he had moved out. So we're going to do Beyonce and those demons. I've already done part 1 of it. And then we're going to do at least 2 parts, because there's really not much about Beyonce except how she was born a legacy to demons. After that, I'm going to go into sports players, because sports players, whenever I did a video on them, I would be shut down and threatened. I'm going to do sports players. I'm going to do the big kahunas. I'm going to do Shaq O'Neal and all those guys. And I'm going to do another video of that guy whose people really jumped on me. I think it's going to take me about a couple of months to do sports stars in their business, because they have a lot of business. And then I'm going to go into hip-hop artists and how they really make their money. I am going to do it the way my ancestors did it in Side Chicks Rule, where they actually showed me how these artists were making their money. I am going to go into all these characters, and I am going to go into detail about drugs, prostitution, that sort of thing, how they actually make their money. And it's not all for music. It's not all for music. It's not all for music. So that's what I have planned going forward. I also have lessons that I'm taking straight from Witchdoctoring, and that is for those who are going to pay a little bit more. I have lessons, and I'm going to start with dissonance and how it affects your craft, how it affects what you see in the metaphysical. And then I'm going to teach you a few things that I know. This is the season of rebirth. I'm going to change a whole lot of my readings. I'm going to have special soul readings, and I'm going to have special element readings. And I'm going to teach on Patreon. I'm going to teach the importance of knowing someone's elements and the level that they are at. Like they are 50% water, 30% earth. When it comes to metaphysical wars and how you can get them through those, or how you can defend and protect yourself through the elements they are made of. So that is going to be on Patreon, where I'm teaching people the metaphysical arts. And I think those are all my messages. I can't think of anything else to say. Those are all my messages from the board of the Bantu. And so, welcome to your rebirth, citizens. Welcome to your rebirth, children of the soil. May we continue to regenerate. May we continue to grow. May we continue to walk our gauntlets with love and compassion. And it is time for Quavo, Nikki, and Saweetee. Okay, so first I am going to do the relationship between Quavo and Saweetie and why it went down. And then I will do the relationship between Quavo and Nikki. And then we will look into the future. Because when I channeled Quavo that late night, he said that he and Nikki made a pact to always be together, no matter what. And that is why he can never take any other woman seriously, because he already has one. Okay. Blow. 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 Okay. Quavo. 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 Quavo is very flamboyant. He is a soul that knows who he is, what he's about, doesn't make any excuses, and does what he has to do with as much fire, as much love, everything. He is an honest soul, and he is very flashy, very beautiful. He's got rings, ding, 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 gold teeth, ha, ha, ha. He's got, like, his shoes have got like diamonds or something on them. And he kind of reminds me of Prince's public persona. He is really flashy, you guys. And he's got his locks, and oh my God, he spends thousands of dollars on beautiful skin. Right now, I need his skin. He spends thousands of dollars on beautiful skin, and he really thinks he's the shit that walks and talks, and he sits down and he crosses his legs and he says, "Hey, baby." Well, he may be all that and confident and happy, but as I was shaking the plate, you can see a shell fell out. Quavo has lost a relationship that would have made him a lot of money. But he doesn't give a fuck. So we all know now that this is Saweetie. She would have made him a hell of a lot of money. He didn't care for that. He didn't give a fuck. He says it was business, which is exactly what he was saying. He says it was business, and the bitch got emotionally involved with business. You know, men and women fuck when they're in business. I mean, it's what we do, baby. It's what we do. We fuck. It cements the contract. It cements it. But it didn't mean that I wanted her. She could have found herself another man, you know, had a man on the side. And we could have been the public couple because we agreed upon it. We signed a contract, not on paper, but we signed a contract verbally. But the bitch thought she could get me. Women are always trying to get the best of a contract. The bitch thought she could get me, but I already have a woman. I already have a woman, and I will always have a woman, and I don't give a fuck about anything else. I have a woman. Who's your woman? See, that's what I love Quavo about. He really talks. Who's your woman? Nikki. She's mine, and I already have her. And one day we'll be able to show the world that we are together, and we'll be happy with our kids. But, you know, not right now. Not right now. Right now, we got to make that money. We got to make that money. Okay. So I'm going to put this one aside because it already came out. Then I'm going to call Miss Saweetie, who I barely know at all. I don't think I've ever done a reading on Saweetie. I think I did a reading on Saweetie on Instagram, but I don't think I've ever put her in my plate. Saweetie. This is an extraordinarily shy female. I'm amazed by how shy she is. She's very shy. She walked into the plate very shy. She looked at Quavo. She walked up to Quavo, who kept his legs crossed, but she actually wanted to walk between his legs, which shows that the sex between her and Quavo, to her, it was good. To Quavo, it wasn't, because he's not taking her in his arms. He's like this, looking at her, arms crossed. He's not sexually attracted to her at all, not even a little bit. He says, "No, I ain't." And why not, Quavo? Say, "She ain't intellectual enough for me. She's shallow as fuck. She's shallow. I go for a brain. A pussy you can get all the time. A brain, you can't. You can't get a brain. You can't get a woman who strategizes, a woman who thinks, a woman who does. You can't. But a pussy you can get all the time. Everywhere. This is a pussy right here. I have a real woman." Okay, but once again, Quavo, of course, is taking control because he's that guy. He's taking control, and this is a very shy, extremely feminine female. She is no star. She's no star. She's manufactured. The system manufactured her because she was beautiful. Her beauty keeps coming out. She was beautiful, so we manufactured her. She is no star. She ain't got much going on, and she doesn't think much. What she just wanted to do was to be married to Quavo. Yes, she wanted marriage. She wanted marriage. She wanted to be married. Then they could be a power couple. Then her problems would be solved, or so she thought. But Quavo wasn't into doing power coupling with her, obviously. She's kind of bewildered by how the relationship ended. I'm thinking she made an alternative. Did you give him an alternative and he didn't take it? He says, yes, she did. She didn't expect him to take the or else. Right? So she wanted something more from this man. He wasn't willing to give it. Now, because of her choices and her decisions, the veil has withheld something from her. This fell and it fell down flat. What has the veil withheld from her? Her happiness. So she's extremely unhappy right now. Saweetie is going through heartbreak. Her man ate. Saweetie is going through severe heartbreak. The veil has withheld her happiness, but her man or her ex-man Quavo isn't. He couldn't care less. So here are Saweetie and Quavo. Oh my God. And one shell goes right back into the plate. And why did you go back into the plate? All I'm getting, interestingly, is that which was put in their destiny is now back in the veil. What is it? Love. They were supposed to fall in love with each other. They were supposed to really, really love each other, and it was put back. It didn't work. So this is what we have. We have a circle. So guys, it seems to us that the fake relationship on Quavo's part and the real relationship on Saweetie's part is not yet over. They may double back to each other because this seems to be like a circle, but we may not know about it because, once again, it won't go very far because one of them is attached. The one who is attached is Quavo. This is Quavo right here. This is so interesting. This is Quavo right here. This is Saweetie. Let us put my grandfather's knife right there for you guys to see. So this is Quavo dominating a female, in love with a female, not letting the female go. And this is the female ruining her life to be with Quavo. Okay? She's ruining her life to be with Quavo. She has a loud-mouthed man. Oops. She has a loud-mouthed man over here who is spreading the word of what she is doing. So I do believe there is betrayal from Nikki from her loud-mouthed husband. There is definitely betrayal. He is talking. He is spreading the word. Yes, he's going to talk. Not right now. Let's give it 8 to 9 months, right? He may expose this couple. But this couple said to me when I saw them in the veil together, don't tell them about us. But he may expose this couple. This relationship is going to go for a long, long time, guys. The relationship of Quavo and Nikki is going to go for a long, long time. Like I told you, every time I shake Quavo and I put him on the board, Nikki turns up. She turned up all by herself. This is a relationship that makes the two of them extremely happy. They are extremely secure and safe within each other, and they are protected by the industry. The relationship is protected by the industry. The industry is on their side, and the industry has Nikki's man in a prison. This is the gates of prison. These are the gates of prison. They have him in a prison. So he may be talking, trying to tell the world and trying to show the world all this shit. It's not going anywhere because they have him in a prison. He is more or less owned by Quavo and Nikki. In the live, Quavo called Nikki's husband a peon who abuses Nikki because he knows about because he is a peon, and he knows that Nikki isn't his woman and Nikki is using him as a closet. And over here we have he also said in the Instagram live that Nikki's son is his son, and the world is going to see that when he starts growing up and he starts looking more like him than Nikki right now. So, we might or may not see this. So it was a cover because they wanted to have a baby. That's what he said. They wanted to have a baby, but Nikki doesn't trust his fidelity. She doesn't trust how he moves. She doesn't trust how the love of her life moves. So they decided to do this instead. So it seems like he, criminal husband, will try to talk about it. He will try to expose it in the future. 6 to 8 months. That's what I'm getting. 6 to 8 months. He'll try to expose it, but he'll be locked in. He's severely locked in. There's like a contract or something. And he will be threatened with some really horrible repercussions if he chooses to open his mouth, but he'll be ready to do so. He will try to fight to do so. So somewhere on the internet, there will be a blog or two that will carry this story. But anyway, this is Nikki, and it's very interesting because Quavo said Nikki is very submissive to him, and this is what the shells are showing. The shells are showing that in this relationship, Quavo has all the power. Nikki is very submissive to Quavo. Quavo controls her, but she's very comfortable and she's very happy. So there is Miss Saweetie right here. Miss Saweetie is in love with Quavo. Quavo is not in love with Saweetie at all. So Saweetie may be talking, but as we sit here in front of you guys, she is still in love with this man. But this has been a terrible relationship for Saweetie. A terrible relationship, and a relationship that is ending. He always pushes it to the right. The right for us, the Bantu, is the past, the old times, the you are dead to me. And the left to us is, what I'm going to keep forever. And Nikki is to his left and she is to his right. But even worse, she is over here. Even worse, she is over here. She's being pushed out of his life. He is tired of Saweetie. Why? They say she's childish. She's shallow. Like I said, I can't stand a woman who has no brains. I totally get that. I totally get that. He said, I can't stand a woman without brains. I need a woman who moves me to the next level. She can't move me. I was moving her to the next level. Okay, so the relationship between Nikki and her man has a lot of downs. So it's not a fairy tale, you guys. It's not a fairy tale. The relationship between him and Nikki has a lot of downs. And in the past, it really hits the lowest level. There's a shell right here behind my laptop. It really hits the lowest level. They fought so hard. They brutalized each other. They told each other secrets. They were anti each other. So they've been there, done that. And now here they are. They've been there, done that. And now here they are patching things up. As I am telling you now, they are good. Right now, Nikki and Quavo are good and they have every intention of staying good. Like I say, where there is Quavo and where there is Nikki, there is always Cardi. Here's Cardi right here. She's also going for Quavo, right? She's right here at the back, okay? Always. It's like the fight of the century for the men. Quavo and Cardi and Nikki, they fight for Quavo. So anyway, this is Cardi right here. She's quite far. It is so funny because when we channeled Quavo, he didn't think that there was any love between him and Cardi, but this shell says that Cardi is in love with this man. He must have some good dick, you guys. That's all I gotta say. Okay, moving on. Let us move on. Let's gonna ask the future. What's gonna happen to Saweetie? And let's get some. As I was putting the shells back in, I heard Saweetie say, my baby. Okay, so we'll go to Saweetie and we'll ask her the question. Saweetie, did you have an abortion? Saweetie, did you have an abortion? Saweetie, did you have an abortion? And before I even finish, Quavo answers, he says, yes, she did. Okay, trying to trap me with a baby. What the fuck was that? Okay, so what we get an answer from very shy Saweetie. You guys, Saweetie has absolutely no personality. It's just very fascinating to me that is. She has absolutely no personality. Okay, so Saweetie admits that she was pregnant. And she was pregnant with the man whom she was committed to. This is a pregnancy right here. She was pregnant, and she was pregnant by the man whom she was committed to. She wanted the baby. There was a discussion whether to keep the baby or to have it. Not having it, or not to have it. Not having it was a stronger conversation, and that's what was carried out rather than having it. However, there was a woman, Saweetie's mother, who begged her to not abort. But he literally threatened her with turning his back. So, this is very interesting. She really didn't want this pregnancy either. Why not? Because he didn't want it. She didn't want this pregnancy because he didn't want it. So she went with what he said. This must have happened when, let's have some time. 6 to 7 months ago. It must have happened then. So, gone. That's all we got to say. Gone. And what was left for Saweetie is a barrel of emptiness, right? And what was left for him was, I don't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. This doesn't mean absolutely anything to him. He said, hey, a lot of bitches have aborted my babies. What's the big deal? Okay? So we asked her. So for some reason, Saweetie is always going to be affected by that abortion. Like, she's always going to think about it. She's always going to cry about it because she is in love with Quavo. A woman wants to have the baby of the man she loves. She is in love with him. Okay. What's going to happen between you and Saweetie, Quavo? What's going to happen between you and Saweetie, Quavo? What's going to happen between you and Saweetie, Quavo? He really doesn't want to speculate because he says anything can change, baby. It's the money game. It's the money game. Okay. My grandmother is laughing at my laugh. So not fair. Okay, so this is what we have right here. Okay, so we have the question was, before my grandmother started laughing at my laugh, the question was, what's going to happen between Saweetie and Quavo? And this is it. Quavo is going to continue doing his business. He's going to be in a run of bad luck financially because his finances are going down. He's going to continue talking a lot. He's going to continue having his responsibilities, his children, the ones he acknowledges. And he's going to keep looking for the money, but he's going to have a lot of pushback. He's going to have a lot of pushback. He has a lot of enemies. He has a lot of people who don't like him. That's very interesting. He was driven to work with Saweetie, not because he wanted to, but because he had to make money. He didn't want to work with Saweetie. He thought she was beneath him. He thought she had no talent. He didn't want to work with her, but he was driven to make money. He had to make money. He says he's got children to feed. He had to make money. And a woman to chase. Who is the woman you're chasing? He says, Nikki, of course. I have to chase her on the constant. I have a woman to chase. I have money to make, kids to feed, a woman to chase. So I'm going to take whatever it is that I get. Okay. So it appears that Nikki did not want him to work with Saweetie. She didn't. She doesn't like Saweetie. This is Nikki right here. She doesn't like Saweetie. And I think she made an ultimatum. But as usual, he says Nikki is submissive, so he didn't listen to it. Saweetie, though, this was the best thing that ever happened to her. Working with Quavo was the best financial decision ever and the best thing that ever happened to her. She became more popular, became well-known, and she made a hell of a lot of money. She became a public figure because she worked with Quavo, but not working with Quavo is actually going to take her down too. They were money magic together. But if they do decide to break off their business relationship, which they haven't yet broken off, it's still right here. It's still effective. It's still in control. And it still gives Quavo a little more, still give Quavo decisions on Saweetie. So, if they continue to work together and they continue to fake that, they've patched it up and they're going to go back together, they will make money. Okay. But if they break up, there is disaster. I mean, if they break up business-wise, there is disaster for the both of them. I'm beginning to understand Quavo now when we said it is business. Okay, so Quavo and Saweetie, are you going to break up for business? Are you going to break up in business? Are you going to break up in business? I get a yes and a no. They are negotiating, they are renegotiating. As I am doing this video right now, this couple is renegotiating. Who doesn't want to come back? Saweetie. Who wants to come back? Quavo. Quavo is trying to make Saweetie understand that the sex was just a byproduct of the business. That she should grow up and stop being so childish and so shallow. And that being pregnant was her problem, not his, because this was business. And she is trying to explain to him that it was personal, that they were in love. And of course, he's not buying it. They are talking at cross purposes. Okay. So we had asked what's going to happen. So let's see what's going to happen. Ooh. No, these two people are not going to continue working together for much longer. They are really not. They are really not. And they will both suffer financially. Saweetie, not so much. Not so much, but she will lose a lot of her popularity and everything. Quavo, a lot. Then he'll bounce back. It's going to be like this with Quavo. Right? Up and down, up and down. He'll bounce back. But Saweetie, there's no bouncing back from this situation. So Saweetie becomes the big loser. Okay. So let me go to Nikki and Quavo. I'm asking Quavo. Quavo, what's going to happen to you and Nikki? I haven't called Nikki into the plate because there's no point. Whenever I call Quavo, he comes walking into the plate with Nikki, just like he has now. What's going to happen between you and Nikki? He always walks in front with his hands pulling hers. Okay, this relationship is really difficult. There's the loss of a pregnancy. Mark my words, this isn't a bed of roses relationship. There's a loss of a pregnancy, but it's a third pregnancy. There's a new pregnancy coming very soon, guys. Woo! Which will be claimed by two men. It shall be claimed by two men. Who is this? Quavo. And who is this? The husband. It says soon, I'm not going to judge I'm going to judge the time. I'm not going to judge the time because it seems like it might end up in a termination. We are seeing it heading in the direction of the termination. The one that fell was one that was a miscarriage, but also is the end of a relationship, either for Nikki or Quavo. Okay, but there is a pregnancy in about 3 to 4 months that shall result in a termination, and both men will be claiming it. Both men are going to claim it, and this is a termination, not a miscarriage. It's a termination. She's going to hide it very well. We're probably not going to hear about it, and both men will claim it. There is also a relationship. Oh, yeah, there is. Who is this? Nikki. Right now, is she talking a lot, you guys? I'm a fan, but I don't really keep up with that. Is she talking a lot? She is depressed. She is suffering from depression because her relationship is not working out. Her relationship with her husband is terrible. Her relationship with Quavo is not so terrible, but it's not so good. So with her husband, it has gone to the dogs. With Quavo, it's to the dogs and not to the dogs. Okay? So whose relationship is gonna end? Let me ask Quavo again. Quavo, are you and Nikki's relationship going to end? Quavo, are you and Nikki's relationship going to end? Quavo, are you and Nikki's relationship going to end? He's gonna fight. Let me tell you this. He is gonna fight to keep this woman with everything. Did you just see that? The Derma shell flew and came crashing down. He is going to fight. And the answer is no. Their relationship is not going to end. He is going to fight. So this is Quavo. This is Nikki. He is going to fight, people. There will come a time when this relationship is threatened and people and it's almost derailed by people, situations, and circumstances. He is going to fight. And it is a no. He's going to keep his woman. He's going to keep her. Oh, yes, he is. But while he is fighting, there is much depression for him, a lot of pain, a lot of emotional pain, a lot of fear, and a lot of pain. He feels a lot of pain when it comes to Nikki, a lot of pain. Then there will be help. Someone is going to help him. One of Nikki's friends. One of Nikki's friends is going to run interference and she's going to help this relationship. Why are you going to help this? She says because they're really happy together. And Nikki is sane when she's with him. Yeah, she has good friends. One of her friends is going to run interference and stop the ending of this relationship. He is going to fight, you guys. It's unbelievable. He's going to fight. Awful forces on blast. Why? What would have happened? Nikki would be tired. She'd be wanting something new in the age of regeneration. She loves him a lot, but it just causes her too much pain and she'll be wanting something new. She'll be wanting something new and she'll be thinking he's not giving her what she deserves. So she will be giving him, them walking papers. Okay, them walking papers. Okay. Okay. Let me think of any other questions to ask. Okay, Cardi. I really don't want to put Cardi on this board because, he didn't have very nice things to say about his relationship with Cardi, and I don't see why I should even put Cardi's soul through this. This man is obsessed with Nikki, and he is about Nikki and fuck every other bitch on earth. And Saweetie is just very immature. She's just very young. She's extremely shallow. Extremely shallow. Basically, anyone can do anything with her. So, that's it, guys. It is the season of rebirth. Look at what I'm wearing. My grandma chose it. She said to show rebirth, okay? My ancestors hardly ever let me work looking like this. But today they said to show rebirth because you're in the process of regeneration. So this is rebirth. So since this is rebirth, this is a shallow reading, and let us just be happy and let us just wait for us to come out of our cocoons and be butterflies. And so I wish Quavo, who is really my favorite channel because he's so true to himself. I wish him the greatest rebirth. I wish Nikki, who's in love with a man whom she is afraid will make a fool of her if she comes out in public and says, I love Quavo. She's afraid of him making a fool of her. I wish her strength. I wish her strength. I wish her courage in her rebirth. I hope God gives her tons of it. And for Saweetie, I wish for her intelligence. Intelligence needs to go into that brain, little girl. Intelligence of any kind, needs to go into that brain. And I hope the season of regeneration brings you great intelligence. Okay. And that's it for this week. Please check out my Patreon channel. You might like it, you may not. I'm not allowed to ask you to subscribe because my ancestors are against that. So, I know that I'm going to have lots of fun. And right after I'm done with this video, I am going to be doing Kobe part 2. But that doesn't mean that next week I'm not coming back to YouTube as a hard hitter. This is my first home. This is where I was made. This is where I met all of you. And this is where I will always come until YouTube kicks me off all by itself. Until YouTube kicks me off all by itself. But I will not be doing so many a day in the sun on this channel. I'm going to be doing it more on Patreon, but I will be back every 2 months or so to do a day in the sun. I do lives all the time on Instagram. Every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, I do lives on Instagram where I do get to talk to anybody who wants to talk to me at all. And I do love them. So every Tuesday on Instagram, I'm there. I'm going to do like every 2 months on YouTube, I'll do a live, but I will do more lives on Patreon because I'll be teaching them how to be witch doctors as well. So I'll do more lives there in order to teach. So thank you so much for watching. And this was a light-hearted one. I needed a light-hearted one to get me started. After 2 weeks of preserving my energy to get me started, I needed a light one. And I always thank Quavo. I adore him. If anybody knows Quavo, please let me know. I adore him, not in a sexual way and not in his music because I haven't listened to his music. I adore the soul that is Quavo. That's a beautiful soul. I adore the soul that is Quavo. I adore any soul that stands on its truth. Lastly, children of the soil, be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. Just be kind. Love yourself more than you love other people. Take care of you more than you take care of other people, because if you don't, that energy will not burst out of you in order to encompass others. Everything starts from within. Let's have hope. There is much to hope for in this rebirth, in this regeneration. I am hoping to go to the Bahamas. I am hoping that my rebirth is going to be a beautiful experience, and I feel it's going to be a beautiful experience. I am hoping that great things will happen to my son and I pray that you are wishing the same. Yes, we know coronavirus will rear its ugly head, and I will do a coronavirus update in the next reading I do for YouTube because I think it's important. But between now and September, hey, let's get it all in there. Let's get the travel. Let's get the sex. Let's get the joy. Let's walk in the sun. Let us just get it all in there before it comes back again in a new, strange, and twisted way. Okay? Let's have hope and faith. The world needs it, especially when we're going through a crisis as the world. Let's have hope and faith. Those of you who can, go and get your coronavirus shots. Do you see now? My ancestors have allowed me to get a manicure. It's been a year, so they felt it was safe for their little girl's fingertips to be in somebody else's fingertips. And they are telling me that I should now prepare to get my vaccine. So I'm going to be calling my doctor for my vaccine anytime in the next, 2 weeks if I'm not too tired. So it is time to get it together. It is time to get your new passports. The world needs to open up. The economy needs to start running again. And you know what? You just need hope to flower within you. You just need hope to flower within you. While we were made for this, the day God created our souls in his hand, he put coronavirus in all our, gauntlets. Coronavirus. He gave us all the qualities that we needed to survive this disease. He gave us all the qualities we needed to survive this disease because he knew he was going to bring down coronavirus. He knew. So we are made for this. Don't get it twisted. We are made for this crisis. We're the ones for this crisis. We're the ones. So while we are made for this, let us be cautious. Let us use our common sense. Let us use science. Let us use any kind of science, metaphysical or science or physical. I tend to go with physical science and metaphysical all at the same time. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? But I tend to use both. Let us use science. Let us listen to those who know, whether metaphysically or physically, and let us make good decisions that are for ourselves. Because Corona, she's going to be raging again, but not for a while. So let's live and love because we were made for this. On that note, bye and happy spring. Well, for now, I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.